Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the CoffeeCast ProCast edition, where I am bringing you a very exciting matchup between EGHuk, who is spawning on the top right side of MLG Antigua Shipyard, and MarineKingPrime spawning on the left side. Now, I do know that this match is from the MLG winners bracket, so if you guys know what happened in MLG, and then, well, you know who's going to win this series, and you might have even watched the series. I actually did not get to watch the series, and I was really upset because I wanted to know how things turned out the way they did. I'm trying to be as anti-spoiler as possible here. So yeah, if you watched the series, you know what's gonna happen. And thanks for tuning in anyways, because, well, just a different perspective here. But personally, I am extremely excited to cast this. Both these players obviously did very well at MLG because they both placed very high. As once again, this is from the Championship Sunday. And oh gosh, I keep getting ready to say something, and it's about what happened. So I'm just gonna try to keep my mouth shut. Talk a little bit about this game. MKP has come out in MLG and done a lot of new things. Okay, this might sound kind of stupid, but before, he just made a lot of Marines. And that may sound completely just idiotic, but at MLG Orlando, I remember that's pretty much all he did. He made lots and lots of Marines, and occasionally he made some Hellions or siege tanks. But he's actually come in to MLG Columbus. I almost said Raleigh. Wrong one. He came into MLG Columbus and started doing all sorts of different things. We've seen mech builds out of him. I even saw him do an air build at one point in time. Done a lot of bio ball builds, which is kind of his staple. But it's good to see that he's been varying it up just a little bit and actually going for a command center first. I don't even know what the heck that says, but it's in Korean, more likely than not. But going for command center first on this map, probably about a 14 CC, and that is really early and pretty risky as well. You can see Huk here trying to get that trying to get the SCV. Only managed to get one shot off on it, but it does look like this command center is going to be finished unless he can kill an SCV in less than 5 seconds, which unfortunately he cannot. So a command center first, followed by a 2 racks. Huk, gonna be interesting to see what he does off this, because he could either throw down an expansion of his own, or he could try some crazy one base all-in-ish thing and try to punish MKP for doing such a fast expansion. I would think that he would expand, and indeed he is going to, as it's not, you know, the biggest deal in the world if somebody goes for this kind of early CC. MKP will get a bit of an SCV lead for a little bit. However, with Chrono Boost, Huk will be able to get right back up in that count. And I don't think it'll be too big of a deal at all. It's going to take a couple of quick whacks at this, but Zealot not going to be able to do much. And actually, if Huk did get a Stalker or two down there, we do see a Stalker on the way now, he could actually do a little bit more pressure. Ooh, there's actually 5 Marines here now. I don't know about that anymore. But Stalker's remarkably good against Marines in the early game. And I'm actually going to assume Huk is going to want to put a little pressure on here, because he's already going to once again be a little bit behind in those in that SCV count here, in the harvester count. And I'd assume he'd want to try to poke up, do a little bit of damage against that. And he is actually going for that Twilight Council, doing a 1-gate expand into Twilight. Probably going to be getting Blink with that, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here. I really feel like Huk is going to want to do something that will give him a little bit of harassment capability, because as far as it is right now, MKP is going to have to play defensive for a little bit because he did this early expand. He's just not going to have the units that he would have if he had, say, 2 racks expanded, 3 racks expanded, just because he spent so much in the early game on this command center rather than pumping out offensive units instead. So Huk's going to have the capability to do a little bit of damage there. Looks like he's probably going to be trying to blink up. Oh, he actually has Dark Templar on the way. A Dark Shrine has been laid down. I find this a little bit interesting, as MKP obviously already has 2 orbital commands. If he scouts this, all he'll need to do is save up a little bit of scan and he'll be just fine. If he doesn't scout it, still just save up a little bit of scan. And I actually don't agree too much with the decision to go Dark Templar. However, if the Dark Templar do fail, you can always switch over into Archon, do a charge on Archon instead, and that is good against any race. Archon's doing that extra damage versus biological, which is pretty much the big portion of MKP's armor right now. Huck trying to poke up just a little bit over here, but this ramp is fairly well defended. Probably going to be having troubles doing any sort of damage. You're killing the automaton there. Oh, the cruel injustice of this world. Marine coming down the ramp just to see what's going on, but he's not going to see all that much right there. And both players just content sitting back for the moment. Actually, MKP unloading that bunker and forcing the Stalkers back just a little bit. Dark Shrine has finished out. 2 Dark Templars have warped in. Going to be running up that ramp. Is there enough energy for scans? No, it looks like both command centers are halfway away from that. Both Dark Templar going straight for the mineralized, but it looks like MKP has spotted this, raising his supply depots. Good job by MKP. Oh no, lowering it again. I don't know why he lowered that. But now we do have a Dark Templar in this middle line, picking away at SCVs, taking out the missile turret, so that cannot go up. Or the scans are not too far off. One scan has gone down now, and that will kill one Dark Templar. Waiting for that second scan to come up as well. And this Dark Templar now sitting over here in this middle line. Oh, when's the scan going to be coming? It's taking too long, and there we go. Scan does go down and kill off that Dark Templar. Not a lot of damage sustained. Only 4 SCVs killed. And that puts that Harvest Scout, whoa, actually very heavily in favor. Oh, another Dark Templar is entering the base. And now it looks like Huck is going to be trying to push up the ramp here with a couple of Zealots and 4 Stalkers. One more Dark Templar does remain here. No scans left for the moment, just having to save up energy as both command centers fairly low at this point in time. And the Dark Templar just going to be sitting here whacking away at this supply depot. And that's just going to kind of be annoying for MKP. It is obviously taking minerals every time that that Dark Templar hits that supply depot. And it's just going to once again be kind of an annoying point for MKP. Might throw his build off just a little bit, as a lot of these pro players have their builds down to a science. And there we go, missile turret is up, unfortunately, for this Dark Templar. Did manage to get 5 more kills before going down, though. Did a nice little bit of damage there. And once again, I'm really surprised to see MKP's SCV count so low. Even without those Dark Templar kills, he would still be 10 behind Huck. So Huck just chrono boosting his probes out like a madman, getting double upgrades now and even going for charge. So it does look like we're going to be seeing some sort of hardcore bust ability, as that is generally what charge will indicate. It's just kind of a push straight up the main ramp. Blink a little bit more mobile will generally point towards a harassment of some sort. MKP has had enough of this, however. He's pushing out across the map with his Marine Marauder Bioball. Even has a couple of medevacs in this army, healing up as he goes along. Another Dark Templar is out on the field, however, might be running across, might be looking to pick off a few units here, and indeed that it is what it's going to be doing. Has to use up a scan. Is there any scan left for MKP? There is 1 scan there, almost 2 scans completely ready, almost even 3 scans. Marine Marauder Ball did drop up in the main base. Going to be able to start focusing down some probes. Dark Templar once again up at the front side to defend against that. Might be able to take out the main nexus here. The army for Huck is trying to advance in to defend against this. Needs to kill all that stuff off too. And it looks like MKP is not going to get it. 27 health away from being able to take down the main nexus. That might go down at a later date. Stimming up and running up the main ramp now. Trying to take out a few more units. Nice force skills by Huck. Will stop any sort of kiting action. And now warping in a few extra zealots to help mop up this mess. Huck, very nice hold here. Barely was able to hold out his main base. And really, I could see MKP coming in at a later date. Oh, actually, the battle isn't over yet, as there is a small contingency of Marines and Marauders left in the natural expansion here. But with this 1 Dark Templar, will he be able to clean all of it up? It looks like it. No, actually scanning, turning around, and killing that Dark Templar off. Medevacs are out of energy, unfortunately, for NKP, so this unit's very, very low on health, but it doesn't matter too much, as it looks like Huck has more than enough to defend. Once again, though, it would only take 1 little medevac drop up into this main base to quickly take out this Nexus, and that is exactly what MKP is thinking as well, I believe, as there are a couple Stalkers in position here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop a medevac full of Marauders and Marines. In the meantime, just getting around with this factory, Huck has taken a 3rd base MKP not quite yet, and it doesn't look like MKP is quite going to be able to make it over to that Nexus, unfortunately. He's going to have to back out of that battle. Over in the natural expansion of MKP, just a couple more barracks coming down, playing pretty standard so far, just sticking with a Marine Marauder Bio Ball. Has a nice little contingency of reinforcements in the middle. Dark Templar, once again, being so annoying in this game, picking off a couple of units here and a couple of units there. I would not be surprised to see MKP go for a Raven, actually, and I feel like that would be a fairly decent choice here, as the point defense drone can even come into play in the mid to late game when there are a lot of stalkers on the field. Dark Templar actually chasing the entire army all the way back home, and factory actually going to burn down up here. That's pretty normal though. Generally, a lot of Terran players will just sacrifice this factory, as it does not have a super great purpose. And it does look like finally MKP taking out these pylons. Even another Dark Templar running around up here, probably going to be harassing the SCV that comes to make this third base, if it ever does. If the game goes on long enough for it. A couple of Marauders and Marines just running around the map, trying to get a little bit of map control back. Dark Templar sitting on this watchtower. This is a great strategy to do. Oh, excuse me. Using these Dark Templars to scout, and especially to hold the zone log watchtowers, because it forces the other opponent to have some sort of detection ability. And in this case, it forces MKP to use scans instead of mules to find those. And actually going for ghosts for that quote-unquote detection instead. Probably going to be using the ghosts to go ahead and EMP Dark Templar to find those. As EMP does temporarily reveal cloaked units. I think it is for 3 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I apologize if I am. But they do reveal them for a long enough amount of time to go ahead and take them out. And MKP, once again, just barracks, barracks, and barracks. That's all he really feels like he needs. Does have one starport with a reactor on it to make medevacs, but other than that, just sticking with a pretty basic composition. Running up into the third base here, might be looking to snipe this Nexus, and indeed he is going to get it, because the army for HUK nowhere near that third base, and the Nexus is going to go down almost instantly. I'm kind of surprised MKP has not tried to redrop over in the main, either A, to take out this Nexus, or to take out this Dark Shrine, as this Dark Shrine has been causing him all sorts of problems all game long. A couple of gateways here actually could be used to turn into warp kits. There we go, HUK. There we go, staying on top of that build. Also, even a little bit supply block for the moment. Big engagement in the middle of the map. A lot of charge lots trying to intercept this army. However, MKP will have none of that and is going to fall all the way back home, as he does not want to die right now. Especially with these 3 sentries in the army. Charge lots can be so potent. Cut off the kiting abilities of the Bio Ball, and it can become very difficult for a for a Terran player to deal with charge lot sentry. And I'm really surprised to see no AoE quite yet, either in the form of even Archons. We have no Colossus on the field, no Storm Templar. We really have no means of taking out a large Bio Ball, which is exactly what MKP is going. HUK is just kind of eluding the counters, and with this composition, I feel like the heavy Marauder composition, I feel like Archons or Colossus would be the better option, as Marauders can actually soak up quite a bit of Storm damage. Not saying that Storm would be a bad upgrade by any means, but I feel like Archons or Colossus, both of which also can avoid the concussive shells, would it be the better option in this army. Especially with these ghosts on the field, I would actually venture to say Colossus would be the best bet. However, Double Roots Vikings could come out fairly quickly. But, ooh, there we go. Robotics Bay being laid down, Blink being researched, and even Protoss Shield being researched right now. There are ghosts in this army, however. EMPs could just completely nullify this charge lot ball of HUK. Even a couple of sentries in here will be completely worthless against sentries. Against ghosts that do EMP them. A couple of Dark Templar are in this army trying to morph in Archons, but it might be a little bit too late. Those Archons taking quite a bit of damage before finally finishing their warp in. And now it looks like HUK's going to get a great engagement angle, but MKP falling back, getting an even better engagement angle, kind of getting in this little choke-like area, going to make it difficult for HUK to get around the Bio Ball. Beautiful force fields going down on top of this army, but will HUK have enough, as his Zealots are just melting? Only a couple of Zealots left on the map. Actually, those last few Zealots falling. 21 Marines and 18 Marauders left for MKP. But this bio ball has been massively stimmed already, and it looks like MKP not quite gonna have enough, but picking up and dropping off into the main base. The Zealot and Dark Templar are nullified for the moment. Stalker blinked up, trying to take that out. However, they were not gonna get there quite in time. Going to go ahead and try to snipe this Nexus. Not all that many minerals left in the main base, but that is minerals that Huck will never get. And will he get it this time? Indeed he does! Picking back up into the medevacs and trying to get out of there. One medevac will indeed fall to Stalker fire. However, the few remaining units do get out, and these two Marauders and Marines, 3 Marauders and Marines, are heroes right now for MKP, managing to get up and pick off that Nexus. That's about, it looks like 500 minerals more, actually, about 1,000 minerals that Huck will never get. Let's see, 340, 325, 10. How does this one have 10 and the other ones have 240 and stuff? I don't get how that works. There's 2 with 10. Wow, that's kind of interesting. Double bruising and Colossi for Huck. A great follow-up to seeing the army composition of his opponent, getting extended thermal lance while he's at it. 3-3 about to finish up for MKP. Currently sitting on 2-2. I believe Huck is on 1 shield and then 3-2 for armor and ground weapons respectively. Colossus going to be a big help in this game. It does look like MKP did see the Colossus tech, however, as he is beginning to get that ship weapons level 1 for his Vikings. Oh my goodness, MKP already remacroed quite the bio ball, however. But he's going to find a little bit of a surprise in the fact that these Colossus are already out on the field. He's still actually producing medevacs and not getting the Vikings that he's going to need. 4 Colossus on the field now. This is going to be a terrifying bio ball, a terrifying army for Huck. And MKP might find himself a little bit compositionally outmatched. Are there any ghosts in this army? There are 4 ghosts, so a few critical EMPs could nullify this Zealot army. And actually Huck in a really bad positioning. Colossus getting caught out in the back. Will MKP be able to snipe those off? No, he will not. But oh, a couple storms going, a couple of EMPs going down on those Colossus. None going down on the Zealots. Colossus are falling so quickly without those shields, however. But the Zealots just doing so much work, but doing some bad micro there by Huck, pulling his Zealots back and not letting them actively engage that army. And now reinforcements coming in for MKP. It's going to be kind of a close call here, as once again the Zealots quite low on health. However, the Colossus not engaging the bio army right now. Colossus, there we go, finally getting up on top of the army, but a nice little flank by MKP, trying to come around and take out the Colossus, but he will not get it. Huck will prevail in that battle, and is going to push MKP all the way back home. Unfortunately for Huck, there's really nothing here to attack air, so there's limited command center. Probably going to be just fine in trying to get away, but actually is going to be burning down. Will MKP be able to hold this army off, however? It's going to be kind of close to these ghosts. The EMP is going to be so crucial in this battle. And there we see that all the Dark Templar actually didn't get taken down. That's going to be a nice little extra DPS in this army. A couple of ghosts dying on that low ground there. Stalker does get a little bit out of position. A couple of Vikings are on the field trying to pick away at those Colossus. Only 1 Archon here for anti-air. The Archon is still alive. I thought that was an Archon dying. So these Vikings are still going to be contested a little bit. However, another Colossus has fallen, and MKP actually going to try to push this back. The Archon does fall. There's no anti-air left in the army for Huck. So these Vikings are going to reign supreme over the Colossus, and that's going to force Huck to fall back for the moment. Zealots are going to be coming up into this 3rd base, however, going to try to do a little bit of damage to this SCV line. Huck's army is in position to intercept the reinforcements for MKP, trying to run up and deal with that. However, will it be enough? That's a lot of Marauders right there, and Zealots not the greatest against Marauders with concussive Zealots, but Huck does get a nice little surround on this army. Zealots coming in from the backside to do a little extra damage, but there are so many medevacs here. The Vikings have taken out all the Colossus, and the Zealots have now all fallen. Even the Dark Templar in the middle of this army going to go down as well. MKP able to hold on so far in this game and actually takes a nice supply lead so far. 3 Zealots is all that remains on the field for Huck, as well as a single Dark Templar trying to get a couple more out onto the field. Will Huck have enough to come back in this game? However, it's going to be a very close call. MKP has a nice little bio army going on right here. 4 Vikings on the field to deal with Colossus, but there are no more coming back onto the field. A lot of Marauders going to be great against those Zealots. Could even use a few ghosts back in this army just for that EMP capability. Not going for that at the moment. Is even going to come up here and pick off a pylon of Huks. Dark Templar is coming in to the third base right now. Once again, going to do a little bit of damage here. These do one-shot the SCVs, especially with these 2 weapons upgrades. Going to be able to do work on here. Oh, but a scan goes down trying to reveal that DT. And indeed, MKP does get the Dark Templar before it is able to do too much damage. Over on the Workers Kill tab, 22 by MKP and 46-47 and increasing by Huk. Dark Templar have done so much damage in this game, and I love the fact that even though these Dark Templar are eventually being taken out, Huk is being relentless with his Dark Templar harass, just making sure MKP can't get too comfortable, trying to fall back to this missile turret that he's attempting to put up. Will it be enough? Oh, did have enough left for another scan, however. With 4 orbital commands on the field, you can really just kind of scan all day. The army is just missing each other, but MKP did manage to spot Huk's army, which with that watchtower more likely than not, and is going to try, start falling back just a little bit to make sure that this army cannot do too much damage. Huk trying to lay down another forward pylon as this one is a little bit out of position, but I don't know if that was really the time to engage. He is a little bit behind his opponent. And again, no big AoE in his army, but really MKP doing such a good job of countering all AoE. He has the Vikings in the air for the Colossus, he has the Ghost for High Templar, and Ghosts also do well against Archons. As once again, Archons only have, I think it's 300 shield, and 350 shield, and only 10 health, so once the shields do fall, it is a lot of trouble. Both players going for each other's bases, trying to take out one of the mining bases for MKP. In the meantime, MKP going to be running straight up into the natural right now, splitting off some of his forces actually to attack both the natural and the third base at the same time. But MKP's army is bigger than Huk's. Will Huk have enough to finish this base race off, or will he fall right here? The Marine Marauder Ball going to be killing off buildings and probes so quickly. Almost every... Oh my goodness, look at those probes fall just instantly. Just getting annihilated there. Huk trying to push into the natural expansion, deciding to come back and go for this third base. Instead, MKP beginning to push up into the main, trying to fly one of his command centers away that will probably get away, as there is not all that much anti-air. It's going to be kind of a close call for that command center. I will keep it selected. MKP running up into the main of Huk, destroying all the production capabilities of Huk. The command center is going to go down. Huk is being revealed, however. He has no nexuses left on the map. Does not even have enough minerals to lay down another nexus. Neither does MKP, however, but MKP does still have 1 orbital command left on the field. We have a good old-fashioned base race going on here. A lot of Marines and Mirage here, though. If MKP just does decide to pull back his army, he is going to win that engagement, taking out the Colossus, all the warp gates, and even that Dark Shrine right there, right for the taking. However, Huk cannot remacro any sort of his army because he is completely supply blocked. By all means, a lot of probes are left on the field. However, once again, not enough to make any sort of buildings. He's going to have to use these in an engagement. And what it's going to come down to here is the engagement angle, and if Huk is going to be able to get off some money shots. Just looking over at the units tab, a lot of Huk's army, a lot of his supply is in those probes, and that's not the case for MKP. Almost all of that is in actual army value. It's going to be a very difficult engagement for Huk to win. I don't think I can see that happening. And Guardian shields are being popped. No force fields. There are so many ghosts on the field, though. They did get some nice EMPs off. Force fields finally do go down, splitting that army in half. But there's the GG by Huk. Just not quite able to break through this army. 105 to 22 supply in the end. Once again, only 8 supply of MKP was in SCVs. 29 was in Huk's. So both players playing a great game there. I feel like Huk's big disadvantage there was not getting any sort of AoE early on enough. I feel like those Colossus, while they were great, while Huk did almost win with those, could have come a little bit earlier in the match, and I feel like that could have been a winning point for him, as he just went so long trading armies when I feel like he could have been winning engagements rather than coming out even in the end. If you have not already, I did just get a blog up just a day or two ago. Go ahead and go check that out. For you Protosses, part of it is about holding off Terrans in the mid-game and how you can deal with any sort of bio ball like MKP is doing here and a lot of drop harass. And I believe my whining is about keeping up with the scene. I like to call it my whining section. It's kind of where I vent. You can find that over at coffeebreak.blogspot.com, and that is coffeebreak with a 0. I am going to go on to game number 2 of this best of 3 series. Will MKP be able to take it 2-0, or will EGHuk be able to come back and force both players to go into an ace match? Stick around and find out. This is Coffee Break, signing out.